All right, we are live, guys. Let me fix that real quick.
It might be my end, so. But anyway, we're live, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just giving it a couple minutes, letting everybody come into the stream and everything.
Right, gonna start sharing the link with my friends.
That sounds good. I appreciate it. Hey, we got our first person. What's up? I'm glad to see you. Oh, E Remy, I'm glad to see you. Yeah, I say I might give it maybe another minute or two, then we can go ahead and get started. And I appreciate
All right.
Oh yeah, and I also recommend that y'all to open up the streams on y'all phone so y'all can keep up with the live chat and everything.
Yeah. Alright.
All right. Make sure that is going. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
Many people watch.
I'm sorry, man. I don't speak Spanish.
That guy is my friend. Guys, Spreadsheet.
But so I guess we're gonna go ahead and get started with the live stream, guys. So firstly, I want to just say I appreciate everybody who tuned into the stream right now. I can see currently it's 11 people watching. I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to come watch us and just listen to us. And I gotta say, just drop a like and comment. I say you're gonna really enjoy this because no matter what stage you are, this stream will really impact you because what it is that this stream, these set of people, from my knowledge, they kind of do stuff more on the manual side because last stream y'all saw we got real heavy on like EAs and stuff like that. But now we're on the manual side and we have one of the actual creators of the No Nonsense Forex Spreadsheet, Fresh Green, here, and we'll be able to talk about that and everything and just dive real deep into it. So like say, this is a prime time to say if you have any questions about the about either one of our spreadsheets or just anything, this stream will be the best stream to go to. And also share this with your friends, share this with everybody who you know like Forex or No Nonsense Forex. We'll greatly appreciate it, and just at the end of the day, we're trying to just help a community and build traders. And so I can see that been just a lot on my end talking and everything, and if you guys would like to introduce yourselves, I'll be greatly appreciated.
I guess we'll start with me. Yeah. So, you all hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, I'm good. I come from Portugal, so please if I pronounce word situation is not good. So, I'm 20 years old, pretty young. And yes, I was pretty lucky to find a nonsense for because I never really got to find out about the RSI and all that crap. So I started with the Queen's Face. And yeah,
Oh, okay.
All right, let's go. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Fresh. fresh green from Asia. That's what my introductions would be. So, first off, I would like to say thank you for Chris here for inviting us for this podcast. And yeah, I'll be trying my best to answer most of the questions you guys have, and I'll be, yeah, I hope we're gonna enjoy. Hope you guys gonna enjoy this stream.
Yeah, so I see, Spot, you speak Spanish. Are you gonna be my translator for me?
Well, I don't
What?
speak Spanish that well. I speak Portuguese, but I can try, I guess.
Oh, is that Portuguese? I apologize if it is Spanish.
Yeah, Portuguese.
Oh, so what was they saying in the chat?
It's a friend of mine. He's saying Spanish, but he's really Portuguese.
Oh, okay. But so that's good to hear. So like with y'all and everything like that. So I said, well, I couldn't really hear you a whole lot, Spot. Did you say like you started off with like supporting resistance lines, or you just found no nonsense forex from the jump?
No, I pretty much started pretty young. Like, I'm a very lazy person and I don't really want to work for the rest of my life. So I started with the Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I didn't really care for Forex because my exposure to it was like all the Instagram scammers and
Yeah.
like all they showed was their cars and they never really showed themselves trading. So, but then I started looking into it and I got lucky because I found no nonsense Forex from the beginning, and so I got the Queen Sweat.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can say that cause like I know my motivation for like my channel and everything is just try to just create more successful traders regardless of what happens. So I just can't wait till once I get my Tesla and everything. I want to take those pictures. I want to get more active on social media. I just try and put out just a better image for Forex and everything. Cause it's like, and I gotta see, I kind of see that with y'all too, kind of like with Fresh and y'all, you just helping out the community, giving them tools and everything, and not just harboring everything yourself. Because like say Fresh, the spreadsheet you made or you and Void made is just awesome, and y'all didn't have to share that with the community. Y'all didn't have to do any of that, but y'all really believed in it. Y'all want to make a difference. And I had watched like this one YouTube video yesterday, and it was like this one guy was being the butthole to the other guy. I think it was a police officer, and he was like, well, do you think you changing the world? And he said, well, I may not be changing the world right now, but the way we do change the world is one person at a time. And I feel like just every time we help one person, either how to properly backtest, using the right tools, maybe share a good indicator, that's just helping them out more and more. Because it's kind of like almost like a pyramid scheme. Does that kind of make sense? I help one person and you may help 2 people, that person may help 3 people, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it starts to like explode.
Mm-hmm. And you can already see within almost 3 years. I know for me it was a year span. No Nonsense Forex VP done put out is at a minimum of 33 prop firm traders. I haven't seen nobody else community put that out yet. I always see other people community just talking about, oh, I got this much profits or anything like that, but it's no just hard set facts. But anywho, so I gotta say, at what part of No Nonsense Forex were both of y'all able to join in? So like, did y'all join for the beginning, the middle, after it was finished? Just talk to me about that a little bit.
I guess it was about a year ago. At first I started with the usual crap, the binary option stuff. It wasn't really all that good, it was more gambling. I managed to profit, but I knew I was gambling. So I started like looking for a process I could follow, and I found No Nonsense Forex when it was about to win pretty much. So I was looking where I could follow the videos in a pretty good structure without having to wait for the videos. It was at first hard to be disciplined, I guess it's the word, to not like skip the videos and jump through them and create a mess for myself, but I managed to follow the structure, and now I am here, I guess.
You, just like your name and impact speak for itself. I like it. What about you, Fresh?
Yeah, I first started. Wait. So I found the Discord a bit later when I was going through the videos. I think I was in podcast 26, but beforehand I was like doing things alone and just searching the MQL5 website for indicators for the MT5. So I was kind of started building alone. So until I found the Discord link sent by CryptoDog in the YouTube comment section, that's when I got to the first NFX community. But I must say, I wasn't actually active there for at first, because I think I was cheating, because when I looked through the Discord, I saw the the indicator channels where it contains like the whole 7 structures of VP's. The structure of VP's algorithm, and I didn't even know about that. I was like still in the volume section part, so it's a bit of a spoiler for me. But yeah, that's where I started. That's the first community I joined in.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing you saying that you joined after VP already finished making all his videos.
Nah, I was around midway.
Oh,
I was around, yeah.
Huh? That's kind of crazy. It seemed like we all kind of started around the same point. That's kind of cool. And we all.
Yeah, I think that's when his channel started to explode. So more people started coming in, I guess.
Yeah. But I gotta say one thing I've been waiting to talk about with somebody is did y'all get a chance to watch his new Big Banks video?
No, not yet.
Bro,
Yeah,
what?
I already watched.
And both y'all getting kicked out of No Nonsense Forex today.
No, no.
Man.
Nah, not me. I watch it.
What? How y'all couldn't have watched it yet?
Oh, well, hang me.
But yeah, so then my next question would be like, so like with No Nonsense Forex and everything, what would you say was the hardest thing just trying to learn or just get accustomed to?
Do you want to start first?
Well, the hardest thing to be honest, the hardest part was looking for the volume indicator, I guess, when backtesting, that is. But most of the time, I think right now, the hardest thing I'm going through right now is the exit indicator. I think the exit indicator is actually the most important piece, because I saw how great that indicator is in actually moving the equity chart and the drawdown. But yeah, those two are the hardest. I don't have that much problem with the forward test though.
Okay. Oh, you said you're forward testing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're gonna definitely dive into that a little bit later on. Go ahead, Spy.
Well, I'll be honest. The hardest part in the no-nonsense forex method for me is to. Well, I'm a pretty lazy person, so it's hard to get myself to go to your like spreadsheet, put in all the numbers. I really gotta find the motivation, and I like test it once a week. But yeah, I mean it's not really that difficult to find the indicators because I already have like a template in the private group. So that's a plus for everyone here watching to try and join it, because then you know what to look for, I guess.
Yeah.
But you really gotta test it manually, or you won't really know your algorithm. It's just hard to have the patience for it.
I agree with that. Yeah. Manual testing actually does take a lot of time, and most of the time it just burns you out when you're fully backtesting the full algo, like doing all the 28 pairs, and you see it like, oh, I just finished 5, and it took just a whole day. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And sometimes just a year takes you the whole evening.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gives you a lot of signals. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's why I know, like with me, and I don't know if this is a tip that everybody else in the YouTube can take. Whenever I actually go from VP 5 pairs, I will set individual goals for myself. So I will say, you know what, I try to finish all the Aussie pairs today. I'll try to finish all the Euro pairs today, or something like that. I feel like it's a little bit more attainable, and so it kind of just like sending you around a short-term goal that you can reach quicker than just say, oh my gosh, I gotta test 28.
Yeah, and it helps to listen to podcasts like this while you're testing or listening to music.
For real.
Indeed.
I know I used to always just binge. I would either binge on like some good music or like one of VP podcasts. Cause it wasn't necessarily I would just listen to it, just like good background noise. And that if I just get distracted, I'll hear him talking like, oh shoot, I need to get back testing.
Hey, that's smart.
But I'd say like one thing you said Fresh said it was hard finding you a exit indicator. What's your you don't have to tell me the specific indicator, but like what kind of exit indicator are you using right now?
Well, the exit indicator I'm using is right now just a simple 2-line cross. It's like a real simple indicator. Real simple.
Is it 2 MAs?
What?
I say, is it 2 moving averages?
Nah.
But well, like talk about your experience a little bit with that. Like what all issues are you running into it?
The biggest issue I learned that is the usual problem when building an algorithm is the curve fitting and the over optimization. Because I just found out you can actually curve fit an algorithm in the 3 years. And when you try to backtest it on another out of sample data, it's actually worse. Like you can see from the equity chart that it's just flat line full of drawdowns and all that. Mm-hmm. So the biggest problem I am facing now is finding a good algorithm that actually has a good, rising equity algorithm. Just a good algorithm that works in a 6-year backtest.
6 years, okay. But like,
yep.
So like, then I guess my rebuttal to that would be like, you know how VP talks about and everything, how your algorithm should be forever updating. So then would you say, like, with that in mind, you would still need to do the 6 years your 6-year back test? Because it's kind of like I would imagine like every 4 to 5 years, I would say around every 4 years, you should either have like a new algorithm or have it like updated or something like that. So then would that, like, what's your opinion on that? I'll just stop talking.
Well, you kind of cut off there for a second. I didn't actually get the whole question.
Oh, so basically, like, what I'm saying is, because VP said everybody algorithm supposed to be updated and you're supposed to continuously backtest and try to improve, correct?
Yep.
So then I would imagine like every around 4 to maybe 5 years or somewhere around there, you should have either your algorithm should be updated with like a better indicator or like an overall better algorithm. And so then I guess with that in mind, would you still want to do that 6-year back test for that algorithm you're building currently?
No. Well, I would confess I'm also an automated backtester. I mean, yeah, an automated backtester. I also tried that one too.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually I usually switch between the two, so yeah. Whoops, I'm not a full manual backtester, so yeah.
Oh.
I started full manual for at least like 3 algos, and slow. I was talking to a bunch of traders in the NNFX Discord, and most of them are like automated testers, and they actually pushed me to do at least an automated one, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what do you use for your automation?
Yeah, Judge is gonna hate me for this.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what kind of EA I'm talking about.
Oh.
The free version, the light version of the NNFX algo tester.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Does he know?
Nope.
Well,
But one thing I would say for sure is you cannot fully trust the EA. You need to actually just first manually build the algo and eyeball the whole thing, and then you can try to test it out in the algo tester. Of course, you need to double check each entries, because most of the time I find the EA to actually been missing some kind of traits, because maybe the indicator might be bugging out, or possibly your computer is lagging out. So yeah, there are limits still, and you still need to manually eyeball it. And I would say it's still better to start manually backtesting before doing some automated stuff, because there's actually important principles you're gonna learn when doing manual backtesting. That I would say.
Yeah, there's a reason in, like, when you learn some jobs like nursing, you learn how to do the basic methods that nobody really uses anymore, because you really want to understand the principle of how something works, so you can go to more complex issues, I guess.
That's a really great point. Cause like now I know like this society and everything we're in, we depend a lot on technology and kind of get off actually hands on and stuff like that. But I know everybody will say, well, what happened if your computer shut down and you don't have it anymore? What would you do then? It just. But what you just said now about just learning the fundamentals and how to do it basically old school before you new school, I like it. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, we are at a weird time where the old people can't really mess with the computers, and the people my age can't really do many of things. It's kind of weird.
Okay, yeah, true. So then my next question would be like, what are some of y'all overall thoughts on the Discord? It's kind of like a really general question. You can take it however you want. It's up to you.
Well, I think it's a pretty good idea. It gives you something to shoot for. You won't really want to climb up in the rank. Even if I think it's very useful, but even if you don't really use that much the group, I think it's a good thing to have for your right to brag, I guess. But also the admins keep everyone in check, and they really don't mess around. I think it's very good.
Okay, first.
Yeah, the Discord community is actually pretty great. So they do share a lot of indicators there that would be helpful for anybody who's starting off. I mean, and there's a lot of people there you can ask around for advices. But yeah, it's a great Discord overall, and sometimes there's some interesting drama going around that would really make your week very, very great.
Yeah. And you can really find some great tools like the calculator thing. I've used it and never went back.
I agree. That's a very good. There's a lot of great tools being shared around the Discord, I would say.
Wait, like what calculator are y'all talking about?
I forgot the name, but it's that tool where you put in your risk and it enters the trades automatically for you.
Oh, you talking about
Calculates
you
stop
talking
loss
about
and
a
the take
calculator
profit.
or a trade assistant?
Yeah. Trade assistant. That's
yeah.
it's very, very useful. You can't find it anywhere else.
Yeah, that shout out to FireRay for that one. That was some really good stuff he made. But
Yeah, shout out to Firewhite.
So then, one of the next questions I have for you guys would be like, I think Spies talked about like getting bragging rights and moving up in the Discord, but was there anything else that just interests y'all get into the private algorithm group? And once you got in, what was your first impressions of it?
Well, I pretty much use the rankings as a way to filter things, because in the general chat, although there are some great discussions there's a lot of, well, annoying stuff, like people keep asking the basic stuff that should already be answered in the pings. And so, as a way to filter out the good stuff, I try to move on the ranks and find the gold nuggets in there, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what did you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, what did you first think whenever you got into the private algorithm group? Like, was it what you wanted? What did you expect more? Like, what's up?
Well, in the private one, the pool one, I was a little disappointed. Although there are some great discussions there, I kind of expected more from the sheets. But when I went to the private algo, I was like, I was blown away. There is so much good stuff in there. I really love it.
Okay. Go ahead, Fresh.
Yeah, my interest in the private groups are somewhat similar to Spice, but yeah, I also use the ranking system for a way to, like, a milestone in my work. Like, I finally achieved something through my work, and I just use the ranks as a way to look at it, a milestone. And yeah, I'm also thinking, because I love getting information, and information is priceless. So when I heard about the private groups, I thought those guys might be hiding something, so I gotta join in too. And yeah, to be honest, there's actually a lot of indicators there that has been shared by Jubil Souls, the admin, and also Nate. He usually shares his zip folders of indicators he downloaded there, and there's a lot of good, interesting stuff being shared around there.
Yeah, especially for the volume indicators everyone's trying to find.
Yep. You heard those, guys?
Nah, if they caught it,
Something
they
to
caught it.
work for.
But yeah,
There's a lot of interesting indicators.
yeah, I gotta say, whenever I was just going through the ranks and everything, I was like, I think I was like really long, like with you guys. It just was a psychological thing that kind of helped you, motivate you to keep testing and do it more, because I'm like y'all, I'm kind of lazy by nature, and so if I don't have to, I don't. But you have to put in the work. You have to show your results, and you have to be thorough in order to get to the higher groups. So in order, it kind of breaks that cycle up of being lazy. And it just, I know when I got into the private algorithm group, I was like so surprised, because it's like it's so many different ways. Like, yes, we all under VP, but the way people make algorithms and the different indicators they put together is crazy. And I always just really enforce and just say to everybody, try to move up in the group, try to get into the private algorithm group. You won't regret it. Cause it's kind of like, would y'all say it's worth it just all the time y'all put into y'all first algorithm or first couple algorithms in order to get into the group? Would you say it was worth it, or would you go back and change?
Totally worth it.
Yeah, of course it's worth it. Even if you don't find what you're looking for, but I think you will, you really start putting in the work to test your algorithm. So, because I think a lot of us who get into Forex are by nature a bit lazy, so at least that's something for you to work on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so here's one of the highlights I've been waiting for to the conversation. Just talk about the differences between your spreadsheets versus mine. I gotta say first, before we just dive into that, Spy, did you use both of our spreadsheets? Could you be like a middleman, or you only use one, or what's up?
No, to be honest, I didn't even know Fresh had built a spreadsheet. Sorry, man.
Yeah, understandable. It's really hard to understand.
Since I found your channel, I simply used your spreadsheet. It's very good. But I bet Fresh is pretty good too.
Nah, it ain't good at all.
No. His spreadsheet is actually much more better, since I've taken a look at it because somebody actually requested me to do some a bit, Excel wizardry. So I took a look. Oh my gosh! I take a look at the spreadsheet, and yeah, I'm surprised by the amount of information and details there. So it gives like every month ROI, every year, and it's actually much more better. I'm actually thinking of improving it by adding all the 28 indicators, but seeing how much work and how much time it might take me, I was like, nah. I think it's already good as it is.
I got a 28 pair version.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, I saw the 5-pair version. I didn't know there was a 28 version one. But anyway, yeah, that's a pretty good spreadsheet. Actually, a better one than mine, because yours is actually much more easier to understand, and it contains the dates, which is actually pretty important to look at when you want to review your trades. Yeah.
Okay, but I gotta say now, one thing that I gotta say that I like about your spreadsheet versus mine is that it don't take other stuff into consideration with the individual trades, such as like spreads or pips or anything like that. And it's kind of like, and I noticed like with yours, you have like individual equity curves for each pair, and also I don't have the indicator settings. I don't have that whole spreadsheet where you can test out different settings and the names and stuff like that. And also I don't have the what is that called? I don't have the Singapore pairs. So that's a really big difference. But I gotta say, we might want to link up and make something, because I don't have an Excel version. A lot of people will try to switch it over, and the whole algorithm just get messed up. The whole spreadsheet just get messed up. So we might have to cook up something together for both of us, man.
Yeah, spreadsheet.
Yeah, sure. We could collab.
So then, I gotta say, cause I know personally, me, I never seen Void talk. Have y'all like kind of noticed like both of y'all did it together? Like, did y'all talk a lot about it? Like, what is he like? I don't know.
Oh, no. I didn't actually talk to him about it. I did ask him about it, but he didn't reply at all. So, actually, yeah, you could send the. To be honest, most of the work put on the spreadsheet is actually void surf's work. So, everything good about that spreadsheet, it's better to be, told to void surf rather than me, because my addition to the spreadsheet is just a small results tab. That's it. Yeah. So most of it is void surf's work. So yeah, props to that guy. Even though I don't know why he's not very active right now.
Yeah, like
Yeah, let's see.
I've been in Discord about a year, and I don't think I seen him ever talk once. I don't know. It's like that with some of the admins. Like, I ain't never seen them talk. But I know they still doing their work and everything, and they still doing their job, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, maybe they don't talk because they really don't want spam, I guess.
That's a good question. That's a good point. So, I guess the next question we'll get into is like, what all, like, I think both of y'all done talked about how y'all forward testing. Is there, like, tell us about some of your short-term goals and long-term goals, and just where you want to be in a couple years.
Well, in terms of forward testing, I simply tested for like 6 months, multiple algorithms in different brokers. I put the data in the spreadsheet and look at the ROI at the end of the time. Nothing really that specific, I guess. In terms of goals, I'd really like to be working for a prop firm by the end of this year, and then be able to live off of it by the end of 2-3 years, I guess. Because, like I said, I'm a really lazy person, and I don't really want to work for the rest of my life. So.
Yeah. Freedom.
Yes, sir. But you know, in order to try to be living off of it, you're gonna have to join a couple different firms.
Yeah, I plan to join like one every year, I guess. It's gonna take a while, so I'm still going to college and all that.
Okay. So, Fresh, what about you?
Well, in the very, very short-term goal is just to go live with a prop firm. And for the long term, I actually want to transition over from Forex to maybe stocks, and just diversify all those incomes and grab different sources of passive income. So yeah, that's also the reason why I started Forex, because I want to transition over to stocks, but first starting at Forex because it's what Baby Peeps told me to.
Yeah, I think after Forex, I think I might want to transition to real estate, because it's like, because I first initially I started off with stocks. I did options, I did just naked calls and all that kind of stuff, and it didn't really rub me the right way, because it's like at some points I was making like good money, because what I would do is I would use, because I use Robinhood. I was off my phone, right? And so I did a whole bunch of referrals and everything. I got around $100 worth of stocks under my name, $100 worth of money to play with, right? This is all while I was, I think like my second year in college, first or second. So I was just trading it, doing all like that, and then one option really reversed on me hard, and it just sunk, and my account went all the way down to $20. I was like, dang. Okay. And then I would just try to grow it back up. I grew it back up to 80, shot right back down, but I think it shot down to 50 this time. I was like, I'm tired of this. And then I just pulled my money out of it because like I didn't understand at the time. I didn't understand like the fundamental analysis to a company, and like I didn't want to do like the due diligence and try to read up on their business models and everything that go on with them before I even just try to make a move and try to do the pricing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You're pretty much gambling like everyone else.
Yeah.
But thank God you got out when you did, because you would have gotten killed back in a month or so.
Oh yeah, that would have been nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
anyway.
I think everyone can invest in stocks if they use the buy and hold strategy, and you really put in the work to investigate a corporation or something.
Yeah, that is true. If you are doing like what VP said and everybody said, just pick a company you really believe in and buy and hold and stuff. You can do that. And I gotta say, even though I didn't have the best experience with stocks, you won't. I can promise you probably won't have just the exact same experience as me. You may have a better, you may have worse. It kind of just, you have to go in it for yourself because everybody's different. And at the end of the day, all of our goals is the same. I would imagine, like just financial freedom, and the way we get to it is going to be different for everybody, you know.
Yeah. And either way, if you end up losing money, like money you can't really, you can afford to lose, but it will hurt you a bit. It's not that bad. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you remember VP's video on psychology, he even told you to invest a bit and go through that psychology mind fact. I don't really want to swear, but go through all that mess and then come back with a cold head and really put in the work, you know.
Yeah, you talking about what you said, put an uncomfortable amount of money into it.
Yeah. Don't really be afraid to lose money at first.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say that was a big psychological hurdle. Whenever I did my prop firm evaluation at the beginning, my very first trade, I kind of got cold feet on not pushing the button. But then I said, so I need to just do it.
And then you really don't want to lose money, so you start moving the stop losses and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a mess.
But yeah, and once y'all do, I gotta say, once y'all do get around to actually prop firm evaluation, everything like that, talk to judge and everything, and try to get into the group chat, the prop firm group chat. It's really, really good. Like, I gotta say, it's probably the same amount of active as the private general chat.
Wait, what?
Yes, you would expect as you go higher that is less and less people, but almost every day we're talking about something.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Because it's kind of like what Judge had said, because originally it wasn't like that. Originally it was kind of dead like the private algorithm, but Judge, he made a really good point, and like he told us like his whole vision for creating it was kind of like making it like a trading floor, like, because obviously we're all everywhere in the world, and so we don't have that luxury as prop firm traders because we're remote. And he said he wanted to bring us all together so we can share ideas and concepts and stuff like that. And so that's kind of gave us a kickstart where we're talking a whole lot more and everything like that. And it's kind of like, it's just like a trading floor. Like sometimes it won't even be about four, if you might just be joking around about something, but it's really fun. It's a really good group, and we really like embrace each other. And it's like, say if one person they talked about how they did something bad, like they moved their stop losses or they're getting a little bit too deep into fundamental analysis, we help like correct each other and stay on our paths and everything like that. It's kind of like I think I talked about it a couple times in the streams where like we don't really talk about our psychology, We don't talk about like how we're thinking or we're feeling about trading and everything. In there, we talk about it. We improving. We're getting better. We're really getting better.
Yeah, I guess the main value from it is the emotional support for you to not mess up your psychology. I really gotta join it.
But
Man,
yeah,
if I knew.
yeah, man.
And that's something to look forward to.
Like I said, I want to just like, and people been doing it a lot, and I really appreciate it. Just give me a shout out, man. That's all I ask for. But so now we're in the portion where, like, say, if y'all had any questions for me, y'all can ask me, or vice versa, or anything like that. I gotta say, if you. This is kind of like one of the. I got two quote unquote funny questions. Is on the spot questions. One of the questions is what I always ask, and that besides Judge or VP, if you had to pick one person to represent No Nonsense Forex Discord, who would you pick?
Well, if I could cheat, I would pick you, but I know that's not an answer, so. I guess I'm not very active in the Discord, so I think everyone in the private audio group applies because everyone put in the work. They're always trying to help each other out.
Okay.
Even Fresh, I would even pick Fresh because he even went through the trouble of doing a spreadsheet.
I'm a piece of shit, yeah. I don't know. I keep turning down a lot of people's questions. but yeah, anyway, back to the question. So, if I'm gonna choose somebody, yeah, I would agree with Alaring Spy here, because Chris here is actually putting his face out there, helping out a lot of people. So that's a great job. And if I'm gonna pick somebody well, I guess just pick a favorite. I would say Nate, the admin, because back then when I first was asking around the Discord a lot, he wasn't an admin yet, and I've asked him about a lot of stuff, and he actually helps out and gives a lot of information. So yeah, shout out to Nate. And most of I believe he does a lot. Extremely a lot more work than a lot of the traders here, because I've seen him for just if you're curious about him, you can go ask him.
Yeah, I gotta say, because I think Nate, he's a really cool dude. I remember I was talking, like, I had a whole bunch of questions for him, as I gotta feel like at some point me and him were going up in the ranks together in a way. I guess it's kind of weird to say. And it was like I would ask him questions sometimes and he'll answer it and everything. And I saw, because he was like a really big inspiration for me, because he was, from my knowledge, like, I think he was the first person to get funded by the Fivers. And yeah, he actually got his payout and everything that everybody was wondering about. And that he really pioneering a lot of stuff for No Nonsense Forex. And I feel like he's one of those like frontline soldiers that you really don't hear about unless you know.
Unless you talk to him. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, like making different kind of algos, I think.
Yeah, he really do put in a lot of work, and you can tell his love for just not necessarily No Nonsense Forex, but just Forex trading and everything. You can see it through his work. Oh
yeah, actually, he's one of the guys who inspired me to do automated NFX trading. Yeah.
Oh wow! And I gotta say
that's the man I talked to when I went to get to EAs and all that.
Yeah, I guess we can go to him. We can go to Fresh. We can go to the other Discord. I guess now it's kind of like as I'm kind of doing these podcasts and everything, my eyes are starting to open up and just realize the diversity with the No Nonsense Forex and just how much I don't know. Like I said, I'm really a noob. I need to watch the Big Banks video about EA building. Like I feel like somebody should just try to make a spreadsheet just showing the right way to build a no nonsense forex algorithm the EA way, or just simple learning concepts or whatever. I feel like that would be a really good channel. I might try to dabble in that, doing that, but I don't know.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
Yeah, you gonna be on the forefront of it, okay? Fresh, we gonna be in it together.
No. Okay.
Nah, I'm just talking. I'm just messing with you. But my next question would be, so let's just say that you're an admin and that you got told that you have to implement one idea into the Discord. What would you do? It could be like, say, you can either introduce a new channel, you can introduce a new rule, you can even like try to make up a little game within the Discord everybody can do. Just what would you think?
Oh man, I was not prepared for that question at all.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe create a channel where we pick like a few people that are interested in creating community events. Maybe to even help the admins, like just what Church did a couple months ago with the algo competition. Something like that.
Okay. Fresh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually good, perfect as it is. So, any new things? I don't know. I can't think of anything out of the back of my mind. So. Well, maybe do some for the newcomers before they get in. They get into some kind of test before they come in. Like, have you started baby pips, something like that, or what is the 7 pieces of the algorithm? Because actually, when I just recently joined in the Facebook group, and before you got in, you do a quick test before getting in. So that's might be an interesting idea to implement with the Discord to filter out those maybe bots or anybody who's just there for some reason.
Now you're starting to sound like Quark from the last podcast. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I actually heard that podcast and it's actually very savage.
My God.
It's true though. It's true.
I think, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought of this question like 2 minutes before I had asked it. It wasn't nothing I planned. But what I just thought about, like, myself, what I would do is just try to have like a no nonsense Forex trivia night, where I would just have like either, I don't know if y'all know what a Kahoot is, or just something like that going on where people just gotta answer questions and it could be a prize like an indicator or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds very cool.
What y'all think about that?
I think that's very
interesting.
Cool, but,
yeah.
Remember, like the amount of messages when we were waiting for the winners of the competition. There was a lot of messages. How the hell would we even pick the winners?
Yeah, no nonsense Forex trivia night. I might actually talk to admin about it. Maybe we can get it popping. Just something fun to do. I mean, everybody's at home and not unless they working from home or something. It's just something we can do. But I guess now, do y'all have like any questions for me? Is there any concepts you'd like to talk about? And this is also open to anybody who's in the audience and they have questions, they can ask too. And the floor is open.
Yeah, man. I'm not sure if you answered already, but what is your long-term plan for this? I know you want to buy a Tesla, but how do you Are you planning on getting your money earning from Forex?
Oh, okay. So, well, my overall goal is like for myself is like financial freedom, and one of the minor goals I set for myself is I want to have a yearly net worth of $1 million by the time I'm 30, right? And it's like, for me, I kind of like set that as like a difference, is that I don't want to necessarily just make $1 million, because like I said, with taxes and a whole bunch of other stuff taken in combined, say if I just made $1 million, I'm only bringing home $500,000, so I'm really only did half of it. So I want to just have like, what is it called, like $1 million net worth, and so that goes with me just joining different prop firms and just using that money to help fund like my real estate investing and everything like that. Then I'm also get money just from my regular day job, and then I might I always want to do like little side businesses. Like ever since I was young, I always want to do like stuff with like technology and everything like that, because I really like computers and stuff. So I always thought about like, I don't know if y'all have it where y'all live, but we have it like, we'll have like return pallets from like Amazon. There'll be a whole bunch of different stuff all just wrapped up, and they'll sell it as an auction, and then you can get it and resell it out to the market. And so that was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to have like my own ATM and just like a whole bunch of other little stupid businesses. I just want to have just all to just try to just make a net worth of $1 million. And I got to figure out that like, I think I gotta be making around $2 million a year with just taxes and everything else taken out to actually meet my goal. So yeah, Forex is gonna be one of those income streams.
Man, that's a lot of goals.
Yeah.
it builds to compare to mine, which is I just want to eat in a high-end restaurant without looking at the bill, you know?
Yeah.
That's just my simple goal. So it builds in comparison. So, you were talking about taxes. You might want to move to Dubai, you know, because Forex is tax-free there.
Are you for real? Never knew that.
Yeah.
Look it up, man.
Forex is free. That might not be
Or
bad.
you can always go to Puerto Rico. You don't really pay federal taxes there.
I don't know, man. I gotta have it's a good restaurant down here called Whataburger, and I need that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's kind of like, that's like my real big complex goal. As you can see, it take me a couple minutes to actually say it, so it's kind of just easy to say, "Oh, I want a Tesla." That's. I feel like that kind of, when people ask the question, they're not looking for a life story; they just want like a quick answer.
What is the next market you're planning to go in? Are you going back to stocks?
Wait, what did you say?
What's the next market you are planning on hitting? Like stocks or metals?
I gotta say, the next market I will most likely hit, I would say it'll probably be like the commodities and metals, because like, I'm really interested in trying to develop, like I said, metal algorithm with like gold, palladium, silver, because that I can see that can be kind of like my fun money account, because like prop firms, they don't normally or the fibers do, but normally they don't offer a metals or commodities, so like the oil and like indices. So kind of just like staying on the no nonsense Forex route and just doing like all that kind of stuff, because like I really take in what VP said, to just try to master one thing at a time before you move on to the next, because I'll have a bad habit of just trying to just do everything right here right now and then just be really good at nothing, just kind of got my hand in every pot but not really taking nothing out of it, if it makes sense. So I guess short answer would be just metals.
Well, right now it's a very interesting time for metals.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I just see the more and more I just watch and just take in and learn and stuff, it'll make me better. Well, I see the audience is asking a couple quick questions that it want to be answered. Tiago asks, "Who wants to be a millionaire? VP rules quiz test." That'd be funny.
Oh no.
Do y'all think y'all be a millionaire?
I think
that would be a
I don't know.
competition. It's a very good idea for a competition.
What happened to ask the question? What VP real name? I bet everybody will fail. But that would be the $1 million question.
Or what was his name in the Forex Factory? Do you guys know?
Wait, he had a name in Forex Factory?
Yep.
Didn't know that. Yeah, I never.
Or
I remember something like that.
his real name in Baby Bibs, you know, he has an account there, and yeah.
Well, I think I'll always hear, is it Patrick? I heard people always talk about that.
His first name is Patrick, but I don't know the account.
Would you care to share?
What?
You asked, did we know? And I'm assuming that you know the answer. I'm saying, would you like to care to share with the class the answer?
Only true hard fans will know.
Oh,
And it's
just like
no.
just like true hard fans will watch the Big Bang's video, right?
You got me. No. His name was. It was shared in the Discord back then. It was Vicious P, I guess. Yeah, his account name was like that. Well, to the people here, now you know.
Yeah. And so, Vicious P, that's funny. Alex asked a question, I guess, directly to me. Oh, he said, could you explain your slow two-line cross indicator concept for volume? Okay. And so let me know if y'all have any opinions on this or anything. But like, my mindset of like a volume indicator is at the fundamentals of it is that it want to keep you out of choppy markets, correct? It want to like say if your C1 giving you a whole bunch of different indicators, whole different signals, that you want something to just give you a clear indication of, okay, now we're going to move, and it's either going to move to stop loss or take profit. It's not going to be bouncing up and down. And so a lot of times, like the way that I like to view it is like I use my indicators and everything to corner the market to where you either going to move up or you're only going to move down. And so the way that I like to do it is that the volume, I see it as a two-line cross, because if the indicator is flipping up and down, at the end of the day, price can only move two directions. It can only move up or it can only move down. And so I use my volume indicator, like say if it flips and give me a short signal, then it gives me an incline saying, okay, the market going to eventually go down. So I just gotta wait for my C1 indicator to just flip in the right direction to tell me, okay, you're going to sell now. Does that like kind of make sense, or what y'all think?
Right. I guess the real trick with that strategy is to make sure you don't get at the tops market. If it's too slow, it might turn into a reversal indicator, so you gotta be careful. But one example that works very well with the 2-1 cross would be bulls versus bears. I really like it for the volume, and even a C1. It's very good.
Yeah. So I gotta say, it doesn't technically account for ranging markets. So that if you want a true volume indicator that account for ranging, then you have to get a true volume indicator or volatility indicator. Only reason why I don't like it is because I ended at the last step of me building algorithms, and so a lot of times my big trades will start on big movement candles. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. It will be a big candle that will move, that would start a trend, and that if you have a volume indicator that shows that it's been a long period of dead volume, your volume indicator shouldn't react to one big candle moving, but then that same big candle is where your C1 will react and give you that signal to make that trade. But then the volume indicator is not going to be there in time to actually join the party and get a part of the trend. So that's why I kind of just develop what I think of like a volume indicator. Y'all thoughts or opinion on that?
Yeah, I agree. I really noticed that with the water tire explosion, I think that's the name, and pretty much every other standard volume. They're really slow to adapt to those big candles where they really end up starting a big trend, and by the time they give you the signal, it's already too far from the baseline. So more and more I noticed the two-line cross works better. So
Okay, so he made a good point. He said, from my testing, I found that a lot of volume indicators behave like momentum indicators. That's a really good point. And so, now kind of bouncing back up to the beginning part, Caprica, she asked, or he, do you have any tips or tricks for a back testing? Cheers. So I gotta say, all my tips and tricks is in like a 10-11 part series that's still continuing. So Fresh or Spy, if y'all like to give tips and tricks, it'll greatly appreciate it.
well, if you want the technical term tips, there isn't much I can give you. What I would say is to don't make it like a job. Have fun, grab a beer, grab some snacks, listen to music. Not go in there like you're working at an office, otherwise you're gonna burn out very fast.
Yeah, I agree with Spy here. Yeah, you need, for backtesting, you really need to take account of your limits, because burnouts really comes a lot when doing the NFX algorithm building, and you gotta relax and don't push yourself too hard, but also don't procrastinate a lot, because just balance it out. Don't do that much. Don't push yourself too hard. But on the backtesting side, I would say it's always good to start manual before doing any using any tools like those in NF no nonsense forex algo testers, because they aren't that great at teaching you how to properly build a good algorithm.
Well said. I like it. So, I think this is the second time asking this. Citro Drums, he asked, what's the best ROI for your systems?
In terms of backtests or
Yeah.
tests, I don't know. In terms of backtests, well, if you want to count with repeating indicators, this is gonna be very high. But in terms of normal algorithms, the highest I got was about 63% per year. However, it had a very big drawdown too, so you gotta make sure don't have problems with cutting your ROI if it also cuts your drawdown enough, because when you're gonna start the evaluation for a prop firm, there's a very good chance you will hit your drawdown before you start making the big bucks, so be careful with that.
Good point. Fresh?
Yeah. Highest ROI? Well, you can see at the backtest competition. I think that's considered the highest. But yeah, I agree with Spy here. Most of the time, you can get so very high ROI, but your max drawdown can reach like maybe 60 or 70, and like, wow, that's not a healthy equity chart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, take account of the drawdown too, not just the ROI. But it's better to use some tools for measuring it. and not my spreadsheet, because my spreadsheet has bad calculations on the ROI, so don't trust that. The drawdown calculation part, yeah.
Yeah, man, you gotta get that right, man. But
I tried. I can't. I've been trying to figure it out, but I just can't.
I feel you, man, because that's a really hard spreadsheet. I feel you. But Ibrahim asked a question. He said, question for all three of us. On average, how many hours did you guys backtest per week before finding a profitable algorithm?
Well, I go through times where I don't even backtest for a month, but when I come back to it, I will spend entire days on it. So there are days where I spend it all day in front of a computer, backtesting, and then I go through months without doing shit. So, yeah. Like I said, just make sure you don't burn out. Take it easy, you have all the time in the world, just make sure you do something.
Fresh.
Yeah, well, for the first 3 algorithms, I think I did that about like for the first. Well, the third algorithm was the one that's profitable, and is actually what brought me to the semi-algo group. I mean, the private algo group. So I'd say 3 months, or was it 4 months? I think 4 months was the max. But I just recently read Rich Dad Poor Dad, so I was very fueled in backtesting because I think I went around a whole 3 days, then stopped for 2 days in every week, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, for me, because mind you, now granted, everybody don't have this kind of time luxury and everything, but I was whenever I was first building my first couple algorithms, I would put more than 40 hours a week, more than a regular job, trying to put together an algorithm, just testing all kind of different things and everything like that. But we just keep saying in here, some people are not built for that. Some people get burnt out a whole lot quicker. Kind of just like depends on you, and you shouldn't feel bad or anything. Like, say if you can't put 40 hours a week, say if you can only put 10 hours a week, okay, you just make sure those are the best 10 hours you got, and just be content and be happy with it. You just have to do what you can do. Know your limitations, know yourself. This also goes into building an algorithm, because whether you want a fast or a slow algorithm, you want a fast exit or a slow exit or whatever, you just have to know yourself and your personality, because if you don't, it will hurt you in the long run.
Totally agree with that. Very right. Yeah.
And so Alex, they asked another question. He said, what no nonsense forex was the most helpful for you guys? But what he said was flip the switch.
Big Banks.
I get what he's saying. He said that everything just clicked because of it, like everything finally made sense.
All right.
Big Banks.
The video that got me to follow the channel was the Big Bangs, because it was the first one. But I think he's asking the video that finally started to make sense for me, right? The whole system. I guess it was the video where it was a review where he showed how he traded, everything he did. He even mentioned the clipboard he had or something.
You know, I think the video that finally just or it wasn't like necessarily the time, but the video that kind of helped make everything sense for me is the experience video.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like that with the experience video, it just brought something different to the table, and it kind of really just put into perspective, like, you can't build a great algorithm in 1 week. You can't just build it in 1 day. It takes time to become a great trader. You can't just open up a account less than a month, just be profitable and be like, okay, I'm gonna go to a prop firm and just make millions and just basically just achieve all your dreams like that. Because it also kind of just really put it in like perspective that the amount of time and work you put in, that's what you should get out of it, in a sense. Because if you, like I say, if you able to luckily just hop on a prop firm and just start trading and get funded and everything like that, you know that you didn't put in the right amount of effort into it. So that means the value of it is not going to be held that high for you, and that means it's not going, or I shouldn't say it doesn't mean that directly, but you're not going to be as careful as you would be if you put in hours and hours into it. Because it's kind of like, what would you have more value in? Something that took you 10 years to build, or something that took you overnight to get? It's kind of like that kind of situation, you know?
Right. And the video even came at a very interesting time for almost everyone, because everyone was in that phase where they were frustrated trying to find a good volume, or they were in the forward testing phase, and they were crying because in the backtest it gave them like 60 ROI, and now they were 10% down, you know.
But yeah, for real. Chaz asked this one good question. I should have asked y'all this. I don't know why I did it. Is there anything you wish you would have known before you started building your first algorithm?
Well, I don't know. Well, I really wish I had your testing sheet earlier, because it was a mess to get myself organized and do the stuff I need. It was really valuable, and it's no coincidence that by the time I got your spreadsheet, I finally started moving from the rank. So.
Oh, I appreciate hearing that. But yeah, that and I gotta say, for me, that's something big that I wish I would know. I wish I would have knew that I can ask for help, in a way, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, whenever I was first starting off, I didn't really talk a whole lot. I was just kind of like kept my nose down and was just trying to figure out everything and just make my own stuff. And so my first couple of spreadsheets was garbage, but as I just kept practicing and moving on with it, got better and better. But I guess if I had to just tell myself before building my first algorithm, I was gonna say you can ask for help, and that your first algorithm is gonna be trash regardless of what you do.
Yeah, right. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Fresh.
Yeah. So, if there is anything I wish I knew before I started my first algo, was I wish I fully understand all the rules before I actually started building, because most of the time I was like building and doing backtest, and suddenly somebody told me I did it wrong, and I was like, oh fudge, I gotta do it again. Yeah. And yeah, that's the first thing I wish I understood it properly, because yeah,
I feel you all the way on that. I remember, I don't know why I was so stupid and had that money management where I said I was using no nonsense forex, but I said my money management was, I'm gonna put 50 pips as my stop loss and 50 pips as my take profit, and my first take profit. Man.
Yeah.
what?
No, it's true. I even went through that when I first started my evaluation. I was really afraid of losing money, so started breaking the rules and all that.
But yeah, I feel like that just like growing pains everybody go through and everything like that. But is there what is it called? Like, what other questions y'all have for me?
really think of now.
Spy? Oh, that was Spy. Fresh?
Well, question we could ask from you because you're started your evaluation, and I think I would like to ask, like, what do most tips do you guys can give to us semi-algo group? Like, how do you modify your money management for the drawdown? I mean, you know, the evaluations of like fibers or city traders, or what else tips can you give us? You know,
Okay.
just for the
Yeah, I got you. That's a really good question. So, what I would say is that first of all, connect your algorithm to my FX book, because a lot of it, whenever you try to go back and do journaling or try to do analysis over your trading style and everything, you're not going to remember everything. And like I say, even if you put in like a spreadsheet stuff, my FX book just give you some things that you just can't do manually. And so that'll be the very first thing I tell you to do, is just connect it to my FX book. And then from there, really take note on how your algorithm performs in different market conditions. Like the 6 months just from the start of the year to now is a really good perspective, because we got different spikes. We had times with long periods where it was just flat and no trade should have been taken. And so the biggest thing I can tell you is that really take in and really understand how your algorithm performs in drawdown, because as you go up and as you talk to people about it, a lot of people like throwing out ideas like, oh, when you get in drawdown, you should half your risk so you won't lose your account. Well, the thing is, if you do that, a lot of times with people algorithms, that means you're going to stay in drawdown a whole lot more longer, because since you half your risk, it's going to take you twice as much to get back out of it. It's just not a good idea if your algorithm can't perform and get you out quick enough. And that once you take in that 6 months, you risking 2%, and you can see, okay, so for 2%, say I just have between normally I'll have maybe 6 or 8% drawdown, but one time I had 12% drawdown. I would just say have enough mindset to be like, okay, that 12% drawdown was it can happen, but it's not the average, it's not the median, it's kind of like an outlier in a sense. And that's why everybody who like uses my spreadsheet and everything, you can see month by month what is your average drawdown looking like. Even though you got a max drawdown that you should be worried about, in some cases it's an outlier, and that's not the true tell story of your algorithm. So really, I would say the biggest tip is to really know and understand how your algorithm performs in drawdown, and from there you'll be able to just equate that to be able to risk and everything like that. Because I would just say whenever you're in like an evaluation like with the fibers or CTI or somebody like that with that same business model, go ahead and what is it called? Go ahead and start with 1% or less. That's just what I always say. Cause like I gotta say, I'll probably tell y'all off stream how much I risk and everything if you'd like to know, but you just basically make a long story short, really understand how your algorithm performs in drawdown.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So, yeah, as we can see from the recent weeks, the last weeks, a lot of no-nonsense forex algos are actually getting hit by drawdowns, and I was wondering what you guys were doing about it. Like, how did you adjust your money management with it? Since this is actually very, very weird week for everybody.
I gotta say, like a lot of it is that so far, like in the group, some people just took it at face value and just took the losses and everything, because it's kind of like you don't want to try to outsmart your system, because that's what VP talked about it. Because what you don't notice is that months you will be in drawdown backtesting, but you won't really feel it and understand it until you actually go through it. Because if you just try to say, well, you know what, I gotta see it's not a whole lot of volume, I'll just half my risk this week until next week and hopefully it gets better. That's what VP saying. You need to trade your system and stay the F out the way. And that unless you got a telltale sign that you done backtested, like say the EVZ, something that goes below a certain value that you said, okay, now I'm in territory where I can half my risk or something like that, then you can make adjustments and stuff like that. But one other thing that we've not necessarily been doing but doing is that our volume indicators and other indicators isn't telling us to trade that much like normal. Like I think last week I only got like 1 or 2 signals maybe, and not even that, because I would have like literally when I first started off I went like 3 weeks without a trade. And yes, it was kind of like because like people will talk about it, oh hey I caught this trend, or hey I caught that trend. But now I'm sitting at around 3% profit loss, but I'm staying out of the market because my indicators is saving me. And like you have said, this week and a couple weeks everybody been in drawdown, which I gotta say I would muchly prefer to stay out of the market than to be in the market and have drawdown.
Yeah, right. And what was I gonna say? Well, in terms of risk, I keep it at 0.7 more or less, and I was in the evaluation, and when these weird outliners happen, they say just take a leap of faith and keep training your system. However, what happened to me is I noticed it was messing too much with my psychology, with everything that's going on in the world. So I was fortunate enough that I was able to request a 2-month pause, let things go back to normal and go back to trading. But if you can keep your psychology in check, just trade away your system, pay attention to the EVZ and follow your indicators.
Oh, so you're with an evaluation right now?
Yeah.
Oh, who you
I'm
with?
with the fibers, and I'm gonna start with the CTI when I get enough money.
Cool. I did not know that. Okay, that's good to hear. And so, what is your profit loss right now?
Yeah, like I said, I asked for a pause, so because it was messing too much with my psychology. I was at 6% of profits. That was why I was able to ask for the pause.
Wait. So wait, you said you're at 6%? I thought, shouldn't you be funded by now?
No, sorry, I mean 4%.
Oh.
I was thinking in terms of 10%. It's on me.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I got you.
So basically, with programs like this, when you get it like 60 to 70% of the target, you are able to ask for a 2-month or 3-month pause. And well, I noticed these events were messing too much with me, so I asked for that pause. So now I'm only doing the forward testing and all that. But like I said, if you can keep a cool head, don't change your behavior, just trade away your system.
Good point. And
hey, that's some interesting info from both of you. I really like that.
Yes, sir. And this is the conversation that like we need to have and just share with each other so we can help better ourselves. Because the whole thing is we all should be grinding to try to get on that testimonial page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but ASFAF. He said, which plan did you choose with the fibers? Oh no, I chose just the general 40K. What about you?
Yeah, I chose the 500K.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, I started big. I went with the VP's advice and put in an amount I was a bit uncomfortable to get off the to get that experience, get all the psychology out of the way.
Yeah, and what everybody said, I think what he meant was $500, not $500K.
Yeah, $500, which gives you access to the 50K.
Yeah, I got you. But any questions from you all, audience?
Well, just to fill in the dead space, I must say, yeah, I'm about to end my 6-month forward test, and this kind of information you guys are giving out are actually pretty useful for me in the future. Like, I didn't know you can pause your evaluation for, what do you say, 2 months? 2 months, right?
I think it's 2 months, maybe 3. I gotta check it back because I've been looking at various platforms and it kind of varies.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a pause. It's kind of like an extension you can get.
Yeah, an extension pretty much. But I'm not really trading these 2 months.
Yeah, and so
I see.
That just comes a part of you. Make sure you read through the terms and conditions, because it's like one other thing that some people may not know about is, say that you was at the 4th level trading, or say you at the highest level you were trading over $1 million, and say you hit your drawdown. They don't force you to start all the way back over in your evaluation. Or I'm referencing with the fivers, they have a clause in the terms and conditions where you would just pay for the amount you lost, and they'll put you back to where you was.
Right.
That's interesting.
It would be pretty damn to trade it like that.
So yeah, and it's just little stuff like that you just gotta know and you just gotta understand. But I guess, do y'all have any ending comments or anything? Any last thoughts?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming to watch this podcast. I want to thank you, Chris, for helping me and motivating me to get to the private group. And to Fresh for even doing all the spreadsheets and participating in the competition and all that.
Oh yeah, for real. Fresh.
Hey. Yeah, thanks, Chris, for inviting us for this podcast. It's really interesting to talk with the members and to get some valuable information, which I really like. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming here and listening to this to us in this session. Yeah.
And Matthew, I hope to see you in the next podcast.
Yeah, man, Matthew, you missed out. Come on.
Yeah, we gonna get him on here sometime. But yeah, and I gotta say, just with you all, just continue to keep grinding, just continue to keep doing what you're doing. Do the same stuff that you got here to the semi-pro. Just stay hungry, man. Don't get content. Don't ease up off the gas is what I'm saying. Keep pushing it. Keep trying to get to that prop firm dream, man. And even once you're there, keep pushing. Don't never give up. I can see y'all gonna have really good success in y'all future. Just stay on it, man. I really do appreciate it. Now, I thank everybody for watching, and have a good night or a good morning where you are.